Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And today is a bit of an odd day. Anyone who's watched the previous video will know that there's been an absolute shit show of stuff going around with regards to, should we just say, shadiness involving the government and the press. And it's been a long sort of day with me contacting people, speaking to people, all sorts of people. Including Ben Borland or whatever with the Express. So instead of being able to actually get into there and spend the day doing long form videos, I normally start early, pre-do them, and then they go out the long forms go out every hour, 9 o'clock onwards. But because of so much gone and done and that, the time's ticked on, and I've just literally run out of time on doing them. So the long forms that I've done will be the ones I've done, and the rest of the day is going to be on short forms. It does mean I can get in and out of these things quickly, maybe bring you a few extra ones, and do some explanation as well. And this one, there is a story, but I just want to do by way of an explanation first, which is when I put that one up, some people have said, oh, it just takes you to the video, it doesn't take you to the article. And I just want to say about that one, yes, there is no article. The article is gone. I did say in the video, it will take you to the video I previously did about the article, and it features the article within the video. But I can't show you the article. That is in the ether. It's gone. Now, having got that out of the way, we're going to move on, and we're going to have lots of stories this afternoon as we go forward. But we're going to start with a very quick one, which was to do with housing and homelessness. Obviously, the SNP have called the homeless emergency, whatever they called it. They've made it a crisis across the nation. It's a national crisis. And of course, they did this because Labour wanted to have a vote on it, and they knew that everyone was going to win. Again, I did a video first thing this morning, how they've lost their first vote in 3.5 years or so. They knew they were going to lose this one straight off the bat. So rather than going for a debate and lose, they just went out, declared it, spun it around, saying, oh, look at us, aren't we marvellous? 17 years of it being in charge, 17 years of us controlling the housing in Scotland, and we made a right pig's ear of it. But look, we're the ones calling it an emergency crisis, etc. And then trying to spin themselves to be the heroes. Well, screw them. They're the ones that caused it. Anyway, it is a disaster. There are currently 7,500 people homeless in Glasgow alone. 2,500 children are in temporary accommodation in Glasgow alone. The problem with temporary accommodation is, 1, it's temporary. 2, it's not really suitable for children. And 3, with all the licensing these things have to have now, there's increasingly fewer of them. And so nobody knows what to do. And of course, Glasgow Council haven't got a penny. They haven't got a bean to rub together. If they had a bean to rub together, chances are old Two Seats would have eaten it. She can go off all around Dubai and bring a whole entourage with her. But they have to fire 450 teachers to pay for it. And now they want to do something about all these homeless people that they haven't given a toss about for the last 10 years. What a joke these people are. Heartless, brainless, callous, and useless. Sounds like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in Glasgow, doesn't it? But these are all bad. These are all bad statistics. But these statistics came up from a guy called Sha Clarkin, who it's a bit weird. Clarkin himself, of course, was, I'm not too sure about but was a massive activist for the SNP. He's certainly very, very pro independence. But he was a massive activist for the SNP. And Clarkin, of course, is the one that actually kicked Operation Branchform into being because he was concerned where all the bloody money went. And now he's concerning himself on the homeless problem in Scotland. Now, I'm going to say something. I never thought I'd say it. And I'm sure a lot of you will probably think how weird this comes out of my mouth, given that Clarkin is a rabid nationalist. But I actually think the man's done some good work. Just because I disagree with his views on independence, I've come to realise that whilst he's utterly wrong on independence, he does at least have his finger on the pulse on other social matters, like the thievery in the SNP and homelessness. And so temporarily, Mr. Clarkin, if you're watching, tips hat. If you can keep up with that side of things, I would be happy to support you in your endeavours. Just can't go with independence. But putting that aside, hey, we can move on. But there are all these things. Of course, it's not just Glasgow. Edinburgh has its problems. Dundee has its problems. Fife has its problems. All over Fife, Kirkcaldy and that. I remember being in the Langtoon. It was there's not a lot there. So if there is any homelessness, there's nowhere they can put them. It's a weird setup, but it's just everywhere. So yes, it had to be national. It had to be called. But it's that little bit of annoying spin on it that the SNP felt oh, look at us, we're glorious, we're wonderful. We have to take the credit for calling out a housing emergency that we have caused. And of course, with their policies, as I mentioned this before as well, with their policies, it isn't going to get better. When you start putting rent controls in and making it very incredibly difficult to evict tenants, then all the landlords will just sell up. Then you've got no private accommodation, and nobody is building at the moment because, heat pumps. You're tying up all the capital. They haven't got the capital to build, so no one's building social housing. Really? Where do you think all these people are going to go? You know what to do? Hand them out cardboard boxes and find them a bridge. Because the way it's going, that's where everyone's going to be living in Glasgow. It is just an absolute shit show run by crooks and morons. You're right. To be in Glasgow Council, you've either got to be retarded or crooked, or in some cases both. But there's no one of any decency, because if they would, they'd resign. You can't be a part of that and maintain your dignity. So it's not going to get better. It just isn't. And now they're firing all the teachers, and that's just the beginning of it. Where's it going to end up? It is going third world. And of course, the very last shop in Glasgow will be a Greggs near City Hall. And there she'll be, Susan, keeping that shop open alone. All your expenses all will be spent in there. Anyway, I shall stop there because otherwise I may say something I may regret. I will never, ever say anything I regret. That's not how I work. I say things and I don't care. So, we'll leave that there. But, it's well done to Clarkin for bringing this up. And sort yourself out, Glasgow, for God's sake, and get those kids into permanent accommodation, you evil tarts. Anyway, now I'll say thank you very much. Take care, goodbye, and I will speak to you good people later. Keep an eye out. Bye.